Hello, my name is Egwekwe Uzona Aloysius. I'll be talking about my topic, project research, which is analyzing the impact of electric vehicles growth on the oil industry over the next 20 years. Case study of the electronic vehicle market in Nigeria. My research aim and objectives. My main aim is to analyze the impact of the EV adoption on Nigeria oil industry. I've got about five objectives: to analyze the historical projected trends in Nigeria oil industry, to assess current landscape on EV markets in Nigeria, to evaluate the potential socio-economic environmental implication of the projected growth of EVs in Nigerian oil industry. I've also got research questions like how do consumer preference, government policies, and market penetration patterns in the Nigerian EV market influence the projected shift in demand and supply within the industry over the next 2 decades? What socio-economic environmental implications are anticipated within the oil and gas industry due to projected growth of Nigeria AVS in Nigeria? This is the background of my research. Nigeria is a vibrant West African nation which is home to about 280 million individuals, fueled by its natural resources, including reserves in petroleum, natural gas, coal, amongst others. In addition, its robust economic indicators, Nigeria stands as a significant player in the global oil industry, boasting proven crude oil reserves of about 37 billion barrels. And also, complementing its formidable oil industry presence, Nigeria boasts substantial reserves in natural gas, totaling an impressive of about 5 billion cubic meters. This abundance underscores the nation's significance in the global energy landscapes. The widespread adoption of EVs in Nigeria faces difficulty, particularly due to inadequate electricity infrastructure. The expansion of EVs within Nigeria is poised to exert a substantial influence on the oil industry over the next 20 years. The justification of this study, given Nigeria's prominent role in global oil markets and its economical reliance on the exports, the potential disrupt posed by electrical vehicles adoption presents a critical focal point for analysis. Understanding this interplay between EV growth and the oil industry becomes very important, especially in forecasting economic shift and also trade patterns, revenue streams, thereby aiding policymakers and industry stakeholders in devising proactive strategies to navigate these changes. This study holds significant relevance in context of environmental sustainability. Through a thorough analysis and the impact of this electronic EV adoption on this oil industry, the study aims to enlighten policymakers, industry leaders, stakeholders with strategic insight. The study contributes to fostering a long-term vision for Nigerians' energy landscape. It aims to facilitate informed decision making that not only addresses immediate challenges but also strategies towards sustainable development, balancing economic growth and also environmental stewardship and social well-being. Furthermore, this study seeks to contribute the academic discourse of consolidating existing knowledge, identifying gaps, and also offering sensitized understanding of the complex of interactions between EV adoptions and the oil industry within Nigeria. Yeah, my key data sources. I made use of these data sources. OPEC, which is the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, have quantitative data from there, which valid from 2002 to 2022. Google Scholar, blogs, and newspaper reports. My research design, which comprises of research philosophy, research approach, and strategy. For this research, a pragmatic research philosophy has been applied, allowing for the integration multiple research methods to gain comprehensive understanding on the impact of the electronic vehicle growth in Nigeria oil industry. This deductive research approach has been employed, starting with testing existing theories against empirical evidences to examine established theories related to EV adoption and oil industry dynamics in Nigeria. This was said by Straffic in 2020. Research strategy, a multi-method research strategy has been adopted, integrating both qualitative and qualitative methods, which is to analyze the impact of the EV growth on Nigeria's oil industry over the next 20 years, with a focus on the EV market in Nigeria. Right now, I'd like to delve into data analysis, which involves a mixed method and data method collection. Quantitative research methods, such as trend analysis, were employed to analyze historical data on EVs adoption rates, oil consumption, and economical indicators. This analysis identified patterns and potential future scenarios related to EV growth and its impact on Nigeria's oil industry. Qualitative research methods, specifically case study research, have been applied to investigate EV's adoption and its implications for Nigeria's oil industry. Multiple case studies were conducted based on criteria like geographical locations and its markets and penetrations of the EVs. Through in-depth analysis, contextual factors, challenges, and opportunities associated with EV growth and its impact on the oil industry were clarified. Data collection method encompass both qualitative and quantitative approaches. For qualitative data collection, case studies were conducted and data were collected through document analysis, direct observations from stakeholders. Data validation and triangulation techniques were utilized to enhance the validity and reliability of these findings, ensuring comprehensive analysis and also for accurate interpretation. And my first objective, I would like to analyze the historical and projected trends in Nigeria oil industry. This figure above shows the growth of petroleum demand from 2002 to 2022. Nigeria aims to produce 30% locally assembled electric vehicles by 2023. While the Nigerian EV market is still in early stages, its ambitious targets, policy support, and also its growing awareness indicates a positive strategy for the next 2 decades. In 2024, the estimated value of the EV market in Africa is about 15 billion US dollars and is also projected to reach 25 billion US dollars by 2029. Nigeria electronic vehicle sales projected to rise from 7% in 2022 to reach 23% in 2026. The hybrid cars are projected to grow from 2% in 2022 to 4% in 2026. My second objective, I would like to assess the current landscape of the EV in Nigerian market. Nigeria has implemented policies aimed at fostering EV adoption, including tax incentives, subsidies, and also reduced import duties for electric vehicles in Nigeria. However, challenges such as unreliable charging infrastructure persist, hindering the widespread of adoption of EVs across the country. Nigerian government has also set ambitious targets to produce about 30% of locally assembled electric vehicles by 2023 as part of the NADIP, which is the National Automotive Industry Development. The induction of Honda Kona was Nigeria's first domestically manufactured EV, which was done by Stallion Motors in 2021. Despite government efforts, consumer preference for fossil-powered vehicles remains strong in Nigeria. Internationally, this is a significantly uptick in EV sales, with the battery-powered pack, light truck and commercial vehicle sales reaching about 6.7 million units in 2021. The surge in EV adoption poses a considerable threat to oil revenues in oil-dependent countries like Nigeria, highlighting the need for strategic measures to navigate the evolving energy landscape. African electric vehicle market value is forecasted to reach about 15 billion in 2024, with an expected increase of 25 billion by 2029, representing a compound annual growth rate of 10% in Nigeria. As one of Africa's swiftly expanding EV markets, significantly contributes to this overall growth and trajectory. My third objective is to evaluate the potential socio-economic and environmental applications of the projected growth on electronic vehicles in Nigeria oil industry. Decrease in oil demand, impact on Nigeria's economy, also diversification of structural changes. I'd like to talk more on decrease in oil demand. The increasing adoption of electronic vehicles globally is expected to reduce the demand for fossil fuels, including crude oil. Policymakers policymakers are obviously focusing on the automotive sector to curb greenhouse gas emissions. With the full penetration of electric cars, potentially eliminating nearly 25 million barrels per day of oil consumption from the global market. According to the international agency AEA, the shift towards electronic vehicles is projected to play to overall crude oil demand by 2030. My fourth objective is to identify and analyze the challenges and opportunities that the growth in the electronic vehicles pose for the Nigerian oil industry. Cost barrier, political dependence on oil and gas, and climate. I would like to focus more on climate change and public health. The opportunities that the EV adoption can aid global climate change mitigation efforts by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, enhance air quality resulting from decreased um, tailpipe emissions, possibly impact public health. The challenges are like striking balance between the EV transition and maintaining essential services, such as reliable electricity supply, which poses like a dilemma for decision making. My fifth objective is to provide recommendations for policymakers and industry stakeholders on how to navigate the evolving dynamics between EV market and oil industry in Nigeria. The aim is to achieve the goal of 30% locally assembled electronic vehicles by 2033 to stimulate domestic production and employment, to foster research development endeavors focused on EV components, batteries, and materials, to provide training for mechanics to handle EV maintenance, ensuring they grasp EV specific components and system, to encourage local batteries manufacturing, also to decrease dependence on imports of boosters of EV supply chain, acknowledging the challenges posed by EV adoption to the oil industry and also to explore alternative revenue streams beyond our exports. Yeah, my results are the development of robust network of publicly accessible EV charging stations, coupled with smart grid integration to manage electricity demand effectively. Attraction of private investment in EV manufacturing, charging infrastructure, and also research and development initiatives to foster technological advancement and innovation. Recognition of the need to diversify the economy away from the oil dependency and also to prioritize long-term environmental goals over short-term revenues. And also to stay informed about global EV trends, policy developments, best practices, to adapt strategies accordingly and ensure alignment with international standards and advancements. In conclusion, the research highlights pressing need for concerted effort and strategic interventions to facilitate the widespread adoption of EVs in Nigeria. The finding underscored the importance of implementing supportive policies, investing in infrastructure development, also fostering, collaborating with the private sector, and prioritizing capacity building initiatives by addressing challenges such as high upfront cost, inadequate change in infrastructure, and oil dependence. Nigeria can capitalize on the opportunities presented by EV adoption to drive economic growth, mitigate environmental impact, and enhance energy security. My reflection on this project, one of the main weaknesses I encountered during this research process was related to time management. While I created an initial Gantt chart to outline the project timeline, I understood the time required for certain tasks, such as data collection and data analysis. As a result, I found myself rushing to meet deadlines towards the end of this module. Moreover, I should have allocated more time for each phase of this research and built in buffer periods to accommodate unexpected delays and challenges. Regarding the Gantt chart and research diary, I found out that while they provided a helpful framework for planning and tracking progress, there were differences between initial projects and actual time spent on these tasks. But furthermore, I would have encountered difficulty in finding detailed resources for some of these research objectives, particularly regarding projected trends in Nigeria oil industry and the potential socio-economic implications of the EV growth. In the future, I would allocate more time to conduct thorough literature reviews and explore alternative sources of information to ensure a more robust research foundation.